I want to welcome you if you are here for the first time. This is the Metaphysical Bible Hangout, and we are in a series. We've been doing this now for 7 years, going on 8 years. It started because I had a Bible class at Up Church, and I had too much material to actually complete inside of the time allotted. And so they were this new thing called Google Hangouts had come out. And so I was like, well, hey, let me try that. And which is actually how the name Hangout became Bible Hangout. And my initial thing was I imagined it being like at a physical space. No one could have seen this virtual world that we're living in where everything we do is online and virtual right now because of the pandemic. But I did not have the money to pay for a physical space. I didn't know how to go find a physical space. And so I was like, well, this thing called Google Hangout, I'll try it. And so that's how we got started. And it's on Thursday nights because Reverend Della, at the time I was her assistant minister, Reverend Della had the Wednesday night class on Wednesday nights. And so I put the Bible study on Thursday night. So just a little backstory. So I'm really excited for this season because we are getting ready to concentrate on a book that I wrote called The Money Poems. And this book was written in 2008. So 12, 13 years ago, 2008. And I tell you, becoming a published author was a real journey. One, just being, I guess, maybe being willing to say, hey, you're an author, right? I think that there was a little bit of that. And we published it in 2009. We published it pseudonymously and under the name Denise Allen. And so then it was like, so no one knew that there was a book. It was an ebook. And in 2015, Mark and I got together and just kind of revisited, like, hey, remember we were sitting around, writing and working on this. And so I picked it up and read it, and I was like, this is like pretty good. I mean, I know where I was as a truth student at the time. This is pretty awesome. And so that's when I was like, let's revisit it. And so in 2017, all the way to 2017, we published it under our own names. And I want to say the rest is history, but listen, it's been a journey. And so it was one of those things where it just came out and I was like, hey guys, I got a book. And then I went and started doing something else. And so I wanted to come back and share with you this material because every time I revisit it, I realize how powerful it is. And I realize what a difference maker it is. And part of my journey, I am the message I'm teaching you, which is that you are here to do what has never been done before, that you are not here to keep the status quo. You are here to bring good things to life. And that's the nature of God, and that's the nature of God expressing through you. And so I just want to encourage you. Um, let's take a moment to open in prayer. Would you just settle with me into this present moment and recognize that there is one power and one presence? That power and presence is God the good, omnipotent, the everywhere evenly present spirit of absolute good. That spirit is present right here, right now, breathing itself as us. And it is listening to the intentions of our hearts and bringing them forward into expression. We open our hearts and our minds to receive what the Spirit has. I thank you, God, for blessing this class. I thank you for blessing the families that are gathered here tonight. I thank you for blessing the people that will find this later. Thank you, God. I know you always hear me when I pray. In the name and in the consciousness of I am, this prayer is so, and so it is. So I want, one of the things that I'm going to be doing is sharing with you things to add to your spiritual practice. The something that Reverend Greg Stamper, Pastor Greg Stamper, said last year in November when he visited up church virtually, that spiritual practice is not an option. And I just liked that phrasing because it just, it's kind of like, not brushing your teeth is not an option, um, going outdoors without clothes on, not an option, and so spiritual practice fits in there. One of the spiritual practices, and this is relevant to what we're talking about tonight with the money poems, one of the spiritual practices that I recommend you adopt is something that are affirmations. And affirmations are short statements of truth, of something that's true about you or true about God or true about the universe that you say to impress your subconscious phase of mind. Affirmations are they different ones resonate with different people. So you may have to go through a series of affirmations in order to get to the ones that are right for you. But saying them consistently makes a difference in your experience. It changes your experience. Words are enormously powerful. They form our experience. And for example, because I think people think the word puts on skin, or I don't know what images they have in their minds, but let me give you a way to think about it. What you say about a thing determines what it becomes in your experience. So the words that you carry into a circumstance control what you see in that circumstance. And so two people can be in the same room seeing the same set of objective facts and walk away with different stories about what was occurring in the room. They're seeing according to the words that they carried in the room with them. So affirmations give you some different words to carry. And you want the right words that and right means what means something to your soul, what ignites you. Words that I like, I love unstoppable, indefatigable, invincible, force of nature. I like words like that. But you may have words that are completely different that resonate with your soul. What you're looking for are your words. What are the words that are for you, that resonate with you? That's what you are seeking. And so I want to encourage you to find that for yourself, and to incorporate that into your everyday way of living. It will make a difference for you, and it will shift the consciousness in your experience. And when you shift the consciousness in your experience, the experience changes, completely changes. So I want to start with an exercise called value words. And so you have this form. I sent it to you on email. If you are live with me on Zoom, you have it in the chat. I'm going to post it again because we got a couple of new people coming in. I want to make sure that they get it. So Wanda, you just came in. I want to make sure that you're able to grab that. I just reposted it. There are two links in the chat. One to this page that I'm showing here, and then another page that we're going to work with later. All right, let's make this bigger. Yeah, okay, there we go. So value words are words that represent who you are, and they represent your values, and they also are valuable to you because spirit will turn you into whatever you call yourself. Spirit will turn you into whatever you call yourself. One of my biggest revelations as a minister, it was that I used to say, we're small but mighty. We have, I don't know, uh, 85 members, like active, physical and virtual. But at the time, these were just physical members. So like 70, 73, somewhere in there. And I used to say, we're small but mighty. We're small but mighty. And one day in my prayer time, it just landed in my spirit and said, Spirit will turn you into whatever you call yourself. And so I dropped the word small because nothing about God is small. So nothing I do for God shall be small. And so I dropped that. So even if we go down to 5 members, you will not hear me say words like we're small, we're a little church, we are God's great idea coming into expression. I am growing into whatever it is that God is growing me into. So what I want you to do, I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes. And I want you to challenge yourself to just choose 3 to 5 words that capture the essence of who you are and how you identify yourself. And so there are about 2.5 pages of words, everything from abundant, accomplished, adaptable, adventurous, affectionate, affluent, alive, ambitious, assertive, attentive, attractive, audacious, aware, awesome, balanced, beautiful, benevolent, bold, brave, brilliant, calm, capable, charitable, charming, cheerful, committed, compassionate, competent, confident, connected, consistent, cooperative, courageous, and it just goes on from there. So what I want you to do in this time period, first of all, let me stop here. Is there anyone who does not have access to the worksheets and you need me to give you the words that are on the worksheets? Is there anyone that does not have access to work? And I realize our friends on Facebook probably don't have the sheets. So let me stop share for a minute and go put it in the chat. While I'm doing it, is there anybody that does not have access to the worksheets? Okay.
So Sherri.
Say it one more time. Hello.
Sherri.
Yes.
So these words that you want us to choose, are they supposed to be who you actually are or who you want to be?
Well, you're already that person. Whether you remember, Spirit will turn you into whatever you call yourself.
Okay.
So these are who you are. This is who you are. You're awesome. You're amazing. You're incredible. You're unstoppable. You're all of those things now. And so you're looking for the ones that just really resonate, that when you, let me say it this way. So I've shared with you guys, I was in a movie called As a Man Thinketh, and I shared that I do a morning commercial. I still do my morning commercial every day. And I get in the mirror and my morning commercial starts with unstoppable. What did I say? I forgot to think. I'm blanking. I'm a little bit at the end of my day, a little bit tired. Unstoppable, invincible, unbreakable, force of nature. When I started saying those words, I didn't feel that way about myself. I had so many undones in my experience. I had books that I had started that never got published. I had movies that I had gotten moving, but never got produced. I had, At the time I was still the assistant minister. So I was in this like, weird like limbo period because Reverend Della hadn't announced an official date. So I was like, what am I doing? So I didn't feel that way about myself in those moments. So I now I've become those words, and every day I become more of those words. So this is I guess maybe how you ideally see yourself. So let me share the words again, and then you know, those of you that are online, I put it in the chat so that the link in the chat, so you're able to go and grab the sheet. But let me just give you the rest of them. I got to start with consistent, cooperative, courageous, creative, cunning, curious, daring, decisive, delightful, dependable, determined, devoted, diligent, direct, disciplined, effective, elegant, empathetic, encouraging, energetic, enlightened, enthusiastic, excellent, excited, experienced, expressive, extravagant, extroverted, exuberant, faithful, fearless, firm, fit, flexible, focused, friendly, fun, generous, genuine, giving, graceful, grateful, gregarious, happy, harmonious, healthy, heart centered, helpful, heroic, honest, honorable, hopeful, humorous, imaginative, impartial, impeccable, independent, industrious, inquisitive, insightful, inspired, intelligent, intuitive, inventive, joyful, just, kind, knowledgeable, lavish, leader, loving, majestic, masterful, motivated, open minded, open, optimistic, opulent, orderly, original, passionate, understanding, persistent, persuasive, philanthropic, playful, poised, practical, prepared, proactive, professional, prosperous, reliable, resilient, resourceful, rich, selfless, self realized, self reliant, shrewd, skillful, smart, sophisticated, spiritual, spontaneous, strong, successful, supportive, superb, team player, thankful, thorough, thoughtful, transcendent, trustworthy, unique, victorious, visionary, vivacious, warm, wealthy, wise, wonderful, worthy, zealous. So I'm going to set a timer for 5 minutes, and you're just going through the list. And again, all of these words are true of you. The question is, what are the 3 to 5 that resonate the most with you? Don't overthink it. Just reach for those words. I said 5 minutes, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to do 2 minutes. So you really got to get to it. You really got to get down with the get down on this one. Okay. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. You're looking for the 3 to 5 words that capture your essence. Who are you? We have 60 seconds left. 20 seconds. Ten seconds. Wonderful. So I'd love to hear what words resonated with you. Let me go to you, Rashi. What words resonated with you?
Hi. I liked fun, brilliant, generous, flexible, and capable.
Beautiful, beautiful. And what made you choose fun?
Because I want to put that I want to do that now and forever.
Yeah.
That's what I want in my life. That has to be a part of my life.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Beautiful. And brilliant.
Yes.
Mhm. Which, by the way, I agree with. You really are.
I
I've known you long enough to say that's the truth.
thank you. I you know I've always been curious about different things, and I always enjoy learning about different things, listening to different people, um, and sometimes I surprise myself with the things I say. And I'm like, wow, I should have recorded that. Because I sometimes you forget, and that's but you know, I really, I I I think I know I have brilliant ideas. I just need to put them into the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, 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 yes. Beautiful. Dr. Belton, what about you? What words resonated with your soul?
Okay. Hi. A couple words that I thought of that you didn't have on the list
Uh-huh.
that
That's
I use all the time. I said fantastic,
Mm-hmm.
generous,
That is your word.
magical,
Uh-huh.
thankful, wealthy,
Yes.
and visionary.
Beautiful, beautiful. What made you choose visionary? What do you feel? What's coming up for you with that
You know,
word?
I always feel that I know the next thing that's going to happen. It's like
Mhm.
whatever it is that I'm in need of. I said, oh, the world needs that
Yes.
because whatever that idea is, whatever that object is
Yes.
something that I need to use in my life or something that I'm looking for. And I just find out later, yes, people want that. They need that. So
Yeah.
I just feel that, I can see.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yes, I love that. I love that. Yes, yes, yes. And I love magical and fantastic. Those are 100% your words. I love it. Constance, what about you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
I have abundant, I am creative, I am direct, I am encouraging, and I am generous.
Yes.
So those resonated.
Yes, yes, yes.
I mean, I was just writing away everything that I was connected to, and then you said 3 to 5. I'm like, oh my God. So
Right,
I
right,
had to really, really
right.
stop and just
And
see
narrow
what
it down.
really sang to me.
What did you decide against? And I mean, like obviously you're all of these words, but you had to narrow it down.
I crossed out because I had to pick 5. I crossed out unique.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that resonated with me.
Mm-hmm.
And extravagant,
Mm-hmm.
because I just want to know that whatever I desire, I can have it and I can reach for the stars. I
Yes.
am extravagant in my thinking, being, and expressing. So,
Got it. Got it. Got it. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? I want to come to Rebecca. How you doing, Rebecca? What words resonated with you? And you're muted, by the way. Okay, while we're waiting for Rebecca, Wanda, what about you? What words resonated with you?
Well, I'm going to do a little cheating because I'm in bed right now. It's after 10 o'clock here. So I'm going to go with 5 words that I remember from one of your classes when we did our I am statement.
Yes.
And I use my name.
Uh-huh.
So the first word is wonderful,
Yes.
attentive, noble, disciplined, and audacious. Beautiful. I am Wanda.
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I agree with you. I know you too, so I know those words to be the truth about you. So yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Pamela, what about you?
Hi. I chose friendly, generous, calm, and capable.
Where did capable come from? What does that speak to in your soul?
Oh, just being able to overcome many different, things.
Yeah. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Gloria, what about you?
I am ambitious, creative, dependable, faithful, and friendly.
Beautiful. I agree. I love it. Alita, would you like to share?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay, I'm calm, I'm friendly, thoughtful, strong, and supportive.
Yes. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Anybody else? Did I miss anybody that wanted to go? I think I grabbed everyone. So these words, it obviously you could choose any words, but the reason you narrow it down is because what you're trying to do is you're trying to bring something into expression. So if those of you that cook, you know that when you get your kitchen set up for one thing, you can't then turn and pivot and do something else, not without breaking down whatever it was that you were doing. So if you're set up to make pancakes, those are not the same ingredients necessarily that you would use to broil a steak. There's 2 different types of seasonings, flavors, ingredients, and everything, right? And so it's the same thing when you're these words represent ideas that you are embodying and bringing into expression. And so it isn't that you stop being one of those things. It's that these are the ones that I'm carrying right now that I am embodying into expression. I am representing the word unstoppable. I remember what my second word was, which was indomitable, but okay. So I'm embodying the word indomitable. I'm embodying the phrase force of nature. I love what you did, Dr. Brenda. It's like, you know what? I didn't see the word on the page that didn't resonate with me. That's great. Like it add to this what you're looking for. What are those words that I'm carrying? Who am I becoming? Because I'm always in the process of becoming, and the Spirit of God will turn me into whatever I call myself. And so you want to bring these words and hold them at the forefront of your mind. Now I'm going to go to the preface. So we're going to work through this book piece by piece. I'm on the preface, which is Roman numeral 5. And it says, thank you for purchasing the money poems. This unique set of poems is being made available to you as a tool to put you on a path to financial freedom. The proper use of the money poems can quickly bring you an astounding level of monetary good fortune. By reciting the money poems daily, you deliberately activate a powerful universal law, the law of attraction. let me give you an example of what that looks like. Let's say that you decide today I'm going to hold the word love. And I'm going to hold the word love in my heart, and I'm going to say it often. I'm going to think it often. I'm going to just keep it at the forefront of my mind. You are going to change the things that you see as you move through your day. This is what I mean when I say that the affirmations are not magical, and I do not teach the money poems as if they are magical. But what the words do is that they condition you to see the abundance that you are in. We are like the fish in water. And for those of us that are not aware of our abundant nature, and awareness means expression, not just I'm aware that my life is abundant, but that I'm expressing. So maybe we should talk about degrees of awareness, or as Emmett Fox says, there's no such thing as undemonstrated knowledge. When you know, you do. So you may have a fleeting acquaintance with abundance, but when you know abundance, it is your lived experience. Everything in your experience is abundant. What the words do is that they shift what you see. And when what you see changes and improves, then you are able to take advantage of opportunities that have been there all along. This universe is chock full of opportunities. This universe, it is, in fact, we're stuffed with opportunity. We are literally the fish in water. A fish in water, a fish is surrounded by water. It's water on the upside, the downside, the right side, the left side. It's water everywhere. It's the entire universe. As a fish, you don't know a world outside of the water. The moment you step outside of the water, you are no longer alive for any length of time, any meaningful length of time. And it is the same with us. As we move through this physical universe, it is in this spiritual universe, it is chock full with opportunity. But you only take advantage of the opportunity that you have the eyes to see. And what controls what the eyes see? Your words. If you go into a room speaking opportunity, speaking possibility, speaking limitless, if you go into a space speaking those words, then that is who you become in that space. And you're able to take advantage of things that someone else holding different words in their hearts cannot see. One of my favorite examples that I use, many of you are aware of Ava DuVernay. Ava DuVernay is the founder of Array Films, and she directed I think she had a writing credit, directed Selma. She did the Tour de Force a couple of years ago, When They See Us, on Netflix. She is a true force of nature. One of the things that Ava did years ago, she created something called the Urban Beauty Collective. And what she did was, she was a publicist in Hollywood. And I guess, I don't know if this was the motivation, but looking to create additional income or another stream of income. And what she did was she went and contacted the Black beauty shops, the urban beauty shops and barbershops around the country, and built a network of 2,000 barbershops and beauty shops. Then she went back to her clients, Universal, Miramax, Disney, Fox, and said, look, I've got this network of 2,000 beauty shops and barbershops around the world. Black people spend X amount of time in the shop. Those of you that, well, we don't go get in the shop anymore because we're in COVID, but you know, when you were in the shop, that you were there and it was like a half day experience, sometimes a full day experience. So you got this captive audience. And so she went back to the studios and said, listen, I'm going to put together a reel of trailers and I'm going to take it and I'm going to project it. The Black people represent this amount of money to the entertainment industry, which is an agreed upon fact. We've got this captive audience and we're going to take this reel with your movies on it and run it on a loop in the beauty shops and barbershops that I have networked that are a part of this urban beauty collective. The studio said, yes, we'll pay to be on that reel. Every quarter or whatever the frequency was, a new reel is created. The barbershops and beauty shops now have, coming attractions from Hollywood. The studios have a greater access to the audience that they're trying to reach. And Ava gets to have a greater stream, another stream of income for her business. The beauty shops and barbershops were already there. The knowledge of how the information was already there, but it's if you have the eyes to see. Then later, when she was founding, it wasn't called A, it was called a firm, African American Film Releasing Movement. So then she took that same idea and did it with the Black film festivals. So there are all these independent Black film festivals around the US that aren't affiliated with one another. They're not in any kind of organization together. They just all know one another. So you've got out here, the festival that I work with most often, the Pan-African Film Festival, but there's an Austin festival, there's a Seattle one, there's just, and so what she did was she went to the different festivals and said, I'm going to curate films and release films through the festival. So I'm going to go and put my film in front of your audience. And the same Urban Beauty Collective that she did she did it with the film festivals. And out of that, Affirm Films, which now has become Array Films, was born. My point is that you only see according to the words that you carry in your heart. These affirmations are enormously important. And so when we're talking about money, many times we can't see money. Money is something that you see with your spiritual eyes. We can't see money because we've got the wrong words that we're speaking. And so we're the fish in water swimming around opportunity. But because of the words that we speak, we can't take advantage of it. So what happens when you practice the money poems daily is that you begin to change the lens that your eye is looking through. I was going to say she writes, but I'm the she. I wrote. Simply stated, what you put out, you will get back. What you put out, you will get back. That is the law. And this is one of, if not my favorite poem. It's from Elizabeth Barrett Browning. Earth's crammed with heaven, and every common bush afire with God. But only he who sees takes off his shoes. The rest sit round it and pluck blackberries. I love this poem so much because it's a reference to Moses in the Midian desert when he sees the burning bush. And what Elizabeth is saying is every bush out there was alive with God. Every bush out there was a fire. Moses just had eyes to see one bush. But at least he saw the one bush and took off his shoes because he got closer to his understanding. What am I looking at? The barbershops and beauty shops were always there. Black folks and what we were doing in the movie theaters was always there. That wasn't an unknown fact. But only he who sees takes off his shoes. The rest sit round and pluck blackberries. And so you you miss the fullness of the opportunity settling for crumbs. The blackberries, as far as this analogy or metaphor is concerned, are crumbs. And a good God that does things lavishly would never have you settle for crumbs, ever, ever. The money poems have one primary task, and that is to help you in your quest for economic liberation. This is so important right now because how we draw money into our experience is shifting. Whole industries, businesses are shutting down due to COVID. But I do want you to know that no money has left the planet. No money has left the planet. They talk about money changing hands, and they speak about it as if it is an inevitable fact. But you can be one of the hands that the money changes into. Your hands can be one set of the hands that the money changes into. But you got to carry the right words so that you can see the opportunity. This opportunity is everywhere evenly present. So there are not fewer opportunities. And what happens is that we live our lives on autopilot, and so we get conditioned to the ways that we have drawn income. We get conditioned to the ways that we have created our level of abundance that we're comfortable with. But no money has left the planet. And what has happened is that the channels by which the income flows has shifted. If you change the words in your heart, you too can be one of the ones drawing the income out of the universe into your experience. Talk to me. Give me a heart, a hand, a high five, a fist bump, or something. I need to know what you're feeling, what you're hearing.
Amen to that. Can you please repeat the reason you said that you created the money poems?
Well, at the time, it was a 2008 recession. And what we wanted to give people was a pathway to economic liberation. Because your words create your experience. You walk into the circumstance is neutral. It has no meaning other than what you assign to it according to the words that you speak. And so right now we're in this moment where the ways that we draw money have changed. But no money has left the planet. It may have shifted how you bring money into your experience. But that's not the same thing as money not being available. And so what you used to do to bring money into your experience, you may have to do differently or do something different altogether. Did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. I love that term, economic liberation, because I think it's a Catherine Ponder book that asks liberty or bondage.
Oh, Emily Cady.
Emily Cady, okay.
Emily, Bondage or liberty which? That's how she opens the text. Bondage or liberty which is that you choose, and you choose according to the words that you speak. And so if you speak different words, you get a different result. Just try it. Nothing I'm saying is anything that you have to take as a foregone conclusion, as an immutable fact. Just go try it. Just pick a word and hold on to it the whole day. Write it on your hand or however you want to carry it so that you have it all day, and just make note of the things that you see. And then imagine that out, extrapolate that out for 30 days. If you held on to that word for 30 days, what would you see? What would your life look like if you held on to it for 90 days and you just keep going? We are power centers, and nothing is impossible for us. Not one thing is impossible for us. And so the words are powerful. Bottom of the second paragraph, I write, this feels weird to say it that way, but I did write it. Okay. And now with the money poems, you possess an effective tool to convert that plentiful energy into usable physical wealth. Conversion or converting something is the nature of how things become in the universe. It is always two things coming together to produce a product. So the words are essentially seeds. And the seeds are planted in the soil of your consciousness. And seeds do what seeds do. Now, seeds in the wrong soil won't grow. I saved it, but I don't know where it is. I'll have to find it. There was an article that came out in a journal, like a scientific journal, a few years ago, because I sourced it. And they had found some seeds that were carbon dated to antiquity, like they were found in a fossil, like, excavated. They planted the seeds in the ground in good soil, and lo and behold, the seeds sprouted. So the good words that you have spoken for abundance, for wealth, for happiness, for joy, even if they have not sprouted and grown in your experience, they have lost none of their potency. And so they will still turn into whatever they were supposed to be the moment the soil gets right. And how do we get the soil right? Affirmations. What you say about yourself. The spirit will turn you into whatever you call yourself. Whatever you call yourself. Constance says, I'm participating in the Ayanla's 40-day abundance journey, and she suggested an exercise 55-5 to write an affirmation intention 55 times for 5 days. Yes, that's exactly it. So glad you said that. I do not have, these are in storage, and I hope I didn't lose them. When I worked for a company called Donor Services Group, and I was coming out of this, and I was, my business had fallen apart. I had lost the house that I was living in. And I was afraid I was going to lose this house that I'm living in now, and at another property, and just everything was just in disarray. It was just like, I can't figure this out, and I started working for this company called Donor Services Group, and we were doing telefundraising for nonprofits. And at the time, it was like, I just need to stop the hemorrhaging so that I can stabilize and then go back, to my work for, to my business. And so I got the job. It was a decent job. I was doing something good because I'm raising money for things like PETA, Habitat for Humanity, ASPCA, stuff like that. And when I would go to work, I would write in a tablet, a legal pad. In a legal pad, I would write pages and pages of affirmations. And so it was a dial system. So I had my headphones, and I would and they would, the dialer is spitting calls at you. And I would literally just write affirmations in between calls. And I would say things like, donors love to talk to me. They love to donate by credit card. That was an important thing versus somebody saying, I'll send in a check, because very often they don't. I'm the number one fundraiser in this, at this company. I wasn't trying to stay at the company. I just wanted the bleeding to stop, in my experience. And it was probably about 6 months. I started there October 25th, 2010. And around about April, it was like the water broke. It was a shift, and it was one promotion after another, after another, after another, until I was sitting in a corporate position with my own office with a door I could lock, and I'm managing a floor of callers for their high-end fundraising team. And it was really quite remarkable. And so I was pulling stuff into my office that was in my little cubby that I had before. And I ran across the tablet with all of the affirmations. I had forgotten about the affirmations. And so I could go back and I could trace what they had created. And one of the affirmations that I had forgotten about was, I'm the number one fundraiser at this company. And before I got promoted into corporate, my supervisor had called me aside and showed me that I was the number one fundraiser in the company. So it works. It works. The reason I started writing affirmations was that I just needed my mind to not sink emotionally when a donor would tell me no. And so I would use the affirmations to keep my energy up and to redirect my mind so that I wouldn't feel bad when they told me no. I had no idea what it would unleash. So this stuff works. But so I'm sorry, I was pointing out the word convert. I wanted to say that. Everything that you desire, whatever it is, and I have an exercise, we're not going to get to it tonight, but you have the sheet, so please do it between this week and next week, where you just sit down and write down the things that you want to be, do, and have. Everything that you desire exists right now in potential. And what happens with the words that you speak, it is that you are converting the energy, the substance of God into that thing. And so as you speak the words and you become the words and you feel the energy behind them, you are literally converting this plentiful energy into usable physical wealth. The other thing that happens is that you strengthen your connectivity to your natural inheritance. Think about it this way. How do you get close to your loved ones? You speak words of kindness, and those words begin to connect you. If you want to sow discord with your loved ones, then you speak words of division. You speak words of condemnation. And the more you speak those words, the further apart y'all grow. But as you speak words of love and you speak words of peace, then it brings you closer. And so as you speak these words, they are bringing you closer to your abundance. If you look on Roman numeral 7, it says, the more you use the money poems, the more open you become to the abundance of the universe. The whole point of this is opening up. It's already here. It's already a part of who you are. It is, you are the fish in water. What you are doing is opening up. We are living in a time where people feel like they are subject to the world's economy. But the truth is that your personal economy is completely within your control, and it is only subject to the world's economy to the degree that you are not free here in your mind. And so my hope for you, my intention for you, it's the same for myself, is true financial freedom, where you know that they may close all the banks in the world, but the universe will find a way to get to me exactly what it is that I desire. Any questions?
Reverend Sherri, this may be really premature on my part because I did read the book, but this has been something that I've been wanting to ask you ever since I read it. Is this real? Is this a real story? I mean, honestly, sure. I just get the feeling it is.
So there are elements of the story that are true, but it's a parable. Okay. So if you are familiar with Robin Sharma, do you guys know who Robin Sharma is? Robin Sharma is a world famous business coach. He wrote the 5 a.m. Club, The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. And so his stories are like this, where he takes characters and he blends like real life into it. But the stories themselves are ultimately fictional, but there are true elements in the story. And so a lot of these scenes are actual scenes from my life, but how they're connected is not exactly the story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it is a parable.
Okay, thank you.
But as we go through, I'll tell you the stories that are actually true, because there are multiple things. So the brother and thing is actually Mark and I. So it's combinations of stories from his life, because he's a saxophone player, stories from his life and stories from my life. And then we wove them in to tell the story, the principle that we wanted to communicate.
Well, I'm telling everybody, they're going to enjoy this. I enjoyed that book so much, and I've read it more than once. They're going to really enjoy it.
Yes. Well, I'm excited. I'm excited to go through this with you. I want to encourage you. Thank you for that example, Constance. I think that's a powerful thing. Again, God will turn you into whatever you call yourself. God will call you into whatever you call yourself. And I love that I am the lavish abundance of the universe. Yes. So between next week, this week and next week, please take a look at the second worksheet. It's a similar style. So there's a second part to this worksheet. Let me just share it. The second part to this worksheet. You want to take a moment and just write a short paragraph and explain to yourself why these words exemplify who you are and how you'd like to see yourself. Again, you're anchoring in this idea of yourself. And I do recommend putting the words on a card and carrying it with you, keeping it in your purse or your wallet or some other, but having it be something that you look at and keeping it in the forefront of your mind. And remember, like I said, the morning commercial that I wrote, I don't even remember the year now. Gosh, I don't even think Jordan was here. So it had to be pre-2013. I didn't feel those words. I wanted those words, but I didn't feel like I was those words. So it doesn't have to be words that you 100% see as yourself, that it can be words that you see yourself becoming. Then for the second worksheet, what you want to do is take a moment to get clear. So many people don't know what it is that they actually want. And so I wanted to do it backwards, have, do, and be, because I want you to start with have, right? And then on the do line, it'll be, what would you have to do to have what it is you're asking for? And then who would you have to be to do the thing that would allow you to have? So I hope that's clear. And so you're just writing down, like, what are the things that you want to have? You know, spirit moves in your life according to the intentions that you set. Reverend Galen loves to say you must be definite with the infinite. It is Isaiah I believe 46:10, that says, concerning the works of my hands, you command me. Basically, you tell me what it is that you want. So many times we are waiting on God to tell us, but God is waiting on us to tell God. Tell me, what direction do you want to move in? Where would you like to learn your life lessons? Because it's not about the stuff, it's about the lessons you learn. Now, would you like your classroom on a Learjet, or would you like your classroom in a hovel? Because you get to choose. There's no requirement that that you be in the lap of luxury or that you be in the bowels of poverty. The choice is up to you according to what you say that you want. So thank you so much for tonight. I appreciate you. I'm so grateful for you. Next week, we will get into, let me see what I have for next week. Part 1 of the story. I believe this will be go. Yep, we go next week. My story, part 1. So pages 1 through 6 is where we will go next week. And I will have worksheets for you. So every week I'll have worksheets for you to work with to help tease out the lessons in this. Wonderful. Any other questions before we close out?
Reverend Sherri, you mentioned, did you say that we are fish?
We are the fish in water.
So fish, does that represent ideas?
Well, metaphysically, fish do represent ideas.
Okay.
And
like
yes,
that.
we are God's great idea.
Okay, because I'm a Pisces too, so thanks.
I'm a Pisces too.
Hey, Pisces.
We coming up for Pisces season soon. Yes. So I'm really excited about this. And I will tell you that when I finish with this, the reason I'm doing these worksheets like this is my intention is to turn this into a workbook to support. So you guys are helping to shape, like I got stuff this evening, like what to do if you see a word on the page that's not what you want. I need to add that in. So thank you for that. So your feedback is enormously important in this process. But thank you so much for tonight. And I will see you guys next Thursday night.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you. God bless.
God bless.
Thank